Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. We got some great information today on the BRICS alliance. Lots of news coming out of the alliance between Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and more. Saudi Arabia now in it, and many other countries waiting to join. And I'm sure there'll be announcements later this month when the BRICS summit takes place. Before we jump into some of that news, let's take a look at the pricing as Bitcoin is on the rise once again, sitting at 64,283. Ethereum sitting at 2,513. Solana sitting at 151, up 4%. XRP up 1.5%, sitting at 54 cents. So the market moving in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, this is the run that we've all been waiting for. Now, let's jump into the news, starting with Crypto Erie here. She has a message from Charles Hoskin of Cardano. Charles has been looking at SUI with an objective eye and praised them. In addition to many chains are reliant on their funding team for Charles, he thinks only Cardano and Bitcoin have escaped. Let's take a listen to Charles in this brief video.
I did want to make a quick video because, from time to time I comment on technology and projects in the ecosystem as a whole, and people are so radicalized and polar that they anticipate the founder of Cardano to always just say negative things about the things that people do. And if I say anything positive, there's this immediate impression that I'm abandoning Cardano or somehow being disloyal to the project. First, that tribalism is intrinsically self-destructive, and second, it prevents us from learning and growing together as an ecosystem. So recently I made some comments about SWE. I've been looking at the project with an objective eye, and the reason why is that some of the technology comes from George Dinezis. I've known George for almost a decade, and we were one of the first teams to implement RS Coin, a protocol that he wrote with Sarah Meiklechan years ago that we used as a precursor to some things with Cardano. Only Cardano and Bitcoin have truly escaped their founding teams. The rest of them are reliant upon them in some way or fashion. That's just a fact as well. And that's what makes Cardano so special, is that we have created the largest decentralized brain, the largest decentralized government, and unlike Bitcoin, we have not succumbed to stagnation and anarchy, where there's no way to evolve the core protocol. And it is very important that we learn from others. It's very important that when we see interesting approaches or unique projects, that we praise them. And we try to find ways to work with them, integrate with them, because after all, we can trade with each other. The age of blockchain versus blockchain is coming to an end, and the age of blockchains trading with blockchains is starting to begin.
So good stuff there from Charles Hoskins. And again, I'm not promoting SUI. Just do your own research there. But good to hear from Charles. Smoke Dog coming in and says potential launch of blockchain-based BRICS pay system at this year's BRICS summit in October 2024. He says it's accelerating. Here in this article, he says BRICS pay has adopted ambitious objectives in the areas of financial inclusion and efficiency. Proponents say that the initiative will make trade between the BRICS nations seamless and allow transactions in real time through the use of blockchain-based system. He goes on to say, joining the initiative ahead of its potential launch at this year's BRICS summit in October are Asia, Africa, South America, and Eastern Europe. He says, with a growing number of cross-border payment arrangements already being settled in local currencies on a bilateral basis, BRICS pay will likely lead to further fragmentation of the global payment system. So, many have been saying this will impact the dollar. Countries will not rely on the dollar as heavily as we move forward. We'll see what the U.S. does. Hopefully we get some regulation in the near future. Moving on to Mr. Mann. He says, what is the case for XRP when compared against Bitcoin and Ethereum? David Schwartz weighs in on the topic. Quilex is a non-bank financial services institution with more than 25 years of experience in the payments industry and with a group of professionals with the objective, with the objective of achieving total customer satisfaction. So let's take a brief listen to this interview with David Schwartz and drop your comments below.
Bitcoin kind of is decentralized. You don't want a centralized bank involved. Ethereum allows you to program decentralized applications. Make the case for XRP. What is its benefit and purpose?
Well, I would say there's kind of two aspects to that. So one of them is like, what is Ripple doing with XRP? And the other one is like, what is everybody else in the world doing with XRP? From Ripple's point of view, XRP has the properties to be a sort of intermediary or settlement asset because it's fast, it is cheap, and it's cheap to move. So what I mean by a settlement asset is when you pulled out that 50-pound note and you pointed out like you can't move the 50-pound note to Mars in 50 milliseconds. XRP you can move around the world in just a couple of seconds. It's much faster than Bitcoin or Ethereum.
You would need a very fast rocket ship to get there in that time.
So one example of a use case that Quilex is using right now is remittances between the United States and Mexico. So rather than having to move that money the conventional way, which takes several days and is very expensive, they just buy XRP at the moment they need it, and a few seconds later they sell that XRP for Mexican pesos. So what you have is you have a remittance pipeline that sources the liquidity on demand, and you're not exposed to the volatility of cryptocurrencies because XRP is so fast you hold it for a minute or two. That's less volatility than the peso over 2 or 3 days. And it's 40 to 60% cheaper. So we're pursuing those kind of intermediate, like if we're gonna have hundreds of thousands of assets, we can't have millions of asset pairs with deep liquidity. Like you can't take any one of those 100,000 assets and have lots of liquidity to every single other one of those 100,000 assets. There's just too many of them. So our strategy is to position XRP as sort of the intermediary asset, the sort of the liquidity source. As far as what other people are doing, the XRP ledger has very low fees, very high throughput, and very high speeds. And it also has a decentralized exchange built in, so it can host other assets. So other people are experimenting with things like micropayments use cases, like eliminating advertisements where you pay for content instead, those kinds of things.
XRPL, folks, fast and efficient. Gotta say, David Schwartz is an extremely smart man and continues to do great things with XRPL. Now, moving on, Lori Reports here says Ripple, XRP, and BRICS, are they going to partner? Let's get her thoughts on this topic.
Just a little reminder that there is speculation that BRICS Pay could potentially arrive this month. And Syria has just submitted a formal request to join the long list of nations that are ready to de-dollarize the United States. Their new payment system aims to reduce all reliance on the US. We're at over 150 countries that are ready to adopt BRICS Pay as of right now. I know that blockchain technology is where everything is headed, but the kicker is it must integrate smoothly with existing payment platforms like India's UPI and Russia's MIR. Now you can see they're already throwing around UPI, the Unified Payment Interface, and XRP Ripple Crypto all together. And when we speak of Russia, we already know that Russia has announced beginning to use XRP for cross-border settlements, ultimately telling us that BRICS Pay and XRP and Ripple are all swimming in the same pool together. Make sure you're joining me here every day for latest on Ripple, XRP, and where they're headed with the future of the financial system.
So, over 150 countries ready to join BRICS. This is big, people. How quickly this will impact the dollar is yet to be seen. But, clearly these countries are frustrated with the abuse of the dollar that's taken place over many years. So, we should find out more by the end of this month, which is coming fast. So, finally here, Wall Street Bulls also chimes in on BRICS Pay. He says BRICS Pay is live and 158 countries will use this blockchain-based solution to bypass SWIFT and the Western financial system. Let the games begin. And then he posts here some facts about the BRICS alliance. 3 billion people, 42% population of the world. Square kilometers, 30% of land area of the world. 24 trillion US dollars, 26% GDP of the world. 3 trillion US dollars, 20% exports and imports of the world. This is not a small alliance. BRICS Pay is very large and is going to be formative. We will see how this all plays out. Stay tuned for more on my channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Appreciate you jumping in. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the flip side.